Today, we're going to be breaking down smart ways to win fights in Fortnite. I don't know if you guys saw it, but recently I made a video where I went from unranked to unreal in one video. So I gained a ton of clips from all different types of ranks to show you how I'm keeping up with the meta, and hopefully you can learn something as well. Before we hop into it, if you want to start practicing any of these type of moves that I'm going to be showing, I have a 1v1 speed realistics map and a newly made 2v2 version. This is hands down the most efficient way to practice any of these type of fights that you're going to see in this video. We're covering literally everything in ranked when it comes to good angles, good peaks, box fighting techniques, little tips to get inside people's box, and it all starts with this poor fellow right here. I roll up to his box, and when he has a 1x2 like this, I place cones around the sides where he could run out of. This makes him feel trapped and way more scared to fight me, most likely. So when I go to attack a wall, I double edit on the far right side, and even as I drop, I stay to the left side so that way I can have a really good peek. This is the most annoying move that Jiven does to me all the time, and this is kind of where I learned it from, being the most super annoying player on someone's wall. In this fight right here, I get a big shot, and when I go to his wall, I'm constantly keeping little bits of pressure up with the SMG, so that way I can exploit in the second it breaks. Even on 20 to 30 ping, even a little higher than that, especially in laggy lobbies too, it works so often it's not even funny. I remember I was in Diamond here. This guy fried me, and then he tries to push over and grab the high ground. When a player gets above me like this, I let them fall down because usually you can get a quick shot. See how I'm using this wall to get a really good peek? And then I place the wall above, and then now he's pretty much just screwed. To make sure you're really consistent when you're placing these builds, you got to touch the window edit here. It guarantees you that you're not going to place stuff in the wrong spot. Trust me. Here I was getting pushed in the zone so hard during this solo cash cup, and this is one of the ways that I won the fight. I created a 1x2 expecting this guy to just jump straight in my box. I was prepared for it. I hit a pre-fire shot and then place the wall right in front of me. This whole sequence will happen to you so much in situations like this. And in that same cash cup, this is the opens this time, I'm fighting this guy for my loot crate, and we are playing so safe right here because I know that every time I edit my wall and I reset it, it allows it to be 1 HP again, so I have to be very aware about what this guy can do to try and take it back first try. Eventually, I end up spraying through and cracking him. And I'm running along the far left side to give myself the best peek just in case he ran out at me. Now, once he runs away, notice how I shoot the cone over his head first, and then I place the wall. I was looking extremely young in this clip right here. Next up, I'm playing in my 1v1 map, code at the top there. This is my favorite thing to do whenever I 1v1 someone, especially in a realistic setting. This specific set of builds starts out with throwing up walls and stairs. Then I edit out to my right, stair and cone. I finish up with walls. Then I edit the cone like this, place a wall, and I run through with the rest of the sequence here, but I'm timing it perfectly. I've had to practice this a lot in creative. This is an extremely smooth way to try and get peace above you that I learned from 1v1ing other pros. Now, this dude here, he was pretty decent. I heal up, try and pop my big, and then when I go to take his wall from the top, he edits the complete thing wide open. Once I get smacked, I know that he's gonna try and run at me. Instead of healing, I line up a headshot, insta-dead. Even if I didn't kill him here, that crack would discourage him from pushing my box. Just like in the previous tip that I mentioned, this fight is the same thing as before with the weird SMG spray. This time, what I did was bait him to pre-fire by acting like I was making the wall weak to take it. And then I can kind of just weirdly spray in the box and he's not even holding the wall. The best fight to take in ranked is this right here, where you get an initial beam, and then as I push up, I'm slowly trying to get really close to him. I jump right in his box. I get even more cracks, but now he has a slurp going. When I drop down on the wall, I got a little lucky that he missed the shot. But when he edits this wall, I instantly shove a wall in front of him through his 2 boxes, and then now I have a really nice Mongrel Classic. Here I edited a really far edit to hope that he would just run into it, because if I made a middle window edit, it's definitely not going to be an optimal peak. This fight was so grief, but I'm expecting this guy to run at me any second. If he doesn't, I'm tracking him the entire time, literally looking at his player's movement to see where he's going to go. That's how I got this double edit piece right here. This is the best way to grab a wall when you're falling down like this. I spray the wall before I touch the ground so that way I could do wall and then a cone. And then once I grab it, it's easy piece inside of his box again. Pro players use that strat literally all the time. From here, nothing special happened. I tried to get overly confident and pickaxe in the depth because I hated this guy, but eventually we put him down. And a lot of times, one quick thing to remember is that when you jump into a box like this, obviously I had the health advantage, but instead of taking out my pickaxe, I just keep spraying with the gun I had and he's gonna die very quickly just the same. You don't always need to place piece control inside the box as you're jumping in. If you just spray and you know they're weak, it's just way better to just shoot them. The reason you make a 1x2 is for situations like this when they drop down on a wall. I'm able to edit out with a cone first to stop him from going up, shove a wall in his face, and then make a window edit and get really nice piece control. Now the guy's completely full box. I play this slow because they could still be in some sort of advantage. With that cone inside their own box, they can make some sneaky plays and get some shots on you that you probably won't expect. So I'm just trying to play the most optimal right-hand peeks possible. Now that I got him hella weak, I started taking the bottom of his box like this, and a pro player named Cease used to do this to me all the time. You can keep really good pressure on someone from the bottom just like this. This kill was the start of a very sweaty fight afterwards, but this was a optimal peak. This guy fries me on the way in. I get the slurp going, and then when he pressures my wall, I make a window edit when he has a stair in front of it, expecting him to just drop down right in front of my face. Every time I make an edit when I'm weak, I always expect him to just run right at me. And I fell for the same move that I told you earlier in the video where you just hold your gun out when they run at you. Luckily, I got the wall back, made the Dorito edit again, and played the peak even better on the next edit. Now I have a raptor here that you probably can't hear griefing the entire clip. This guy drops down on my wall when I'm all nervous from this damn dinosaur, and one thing I can do in this situation is just sit there and let him edit. He's probably really antsy to shoot me, and sometimes people just don't line up a good peek. Now against a pro or someone way more sweaty, it doesn't always work, but you could still get people like this all the time. It's a good bailout move. I had one fight super grief in Storm, and when I edit this guy down into my box, you see how I'm taking so much time to line up the most optimal peak on the planet, and then I just sit there and hold it. His only option is to literally run through the wall, and that's exactly what he does, and then he's toast. For all the noobs out there, any single time you get a double edit on someone, they were just running directly at you, so piece control the box behind them. I didn't even bother making the double edit because I knew that I'd get shot, but if I go for the back piece control, it's going to be way safer. This was a little bit of a risky play again, but when I wide edit on this guy, he wasn't expecting it, so I quickly place the wall, and I know that when I shoot him here, I have to go for the cone play because if I don't, he's just gonna place a floor and block me. One of the best strats to get inside someone's box is to spray the wall first before you actually go to place the stair above your head. Just like in this spot, it made it super easy so this guy felt the pressure and didn't get his legendary ice cream off. This is a play that works against so many people, and I used it here when this guy thought I was even weaker than I was, but I'm essentially expecting this guy to double edit so I can rotate around him and shoot him as he's falling into the box. Now I have both of these walls here, and he is hit hard. It's probably one of the safest ways to get this guy off my box. This might have been one of the most high IQ plays I made in a while. I was in a heavy box fight with this guy, and one thing I did was I pretended to act like I was gonna go to the right, so I started spraying his wall to bait him, and then I quickly ran back to the open edit and hit a mean flick shot. That was just a dirty play. A lot of times what I do when I pressure someone in a 1x2, here's one way to go about it. It could have been smoother, but I tried to get the wall inside the middle of his box. Afterwards, I tried to look up a little more to get the wall right in front of me because I realized no one had it yet, and then I allowed me to get a quick shot. But just notice how I'm positioning myself on the left side to try and just place weird builds in between the guy and me. Now, this fight was super annoying because the guy cranked like a million times, but this is a little sneaky move to know whenever you're build fighting someone, and it works a ton. What I do is place a cone and I try to go upwards with it, but he blocks it off. So just always quickly look to break builds real quick and then just edit through like you imagine. The guy above you is not going to expect you to go that way, but if you break it real quick, it might take him off guard like it did here. Shout out to Moneymaker because watching him just makes me hop in people's boxes, and sometimes that's the confidence you need. This guy escapes, but I know that he's a little weak. So as I'm running up, I know he lost track of me, and the second I see this wall here, I know that I can have a chance to just hop right in. Ultimate pressure right here. One thing that I've gotten very comfortable with over the years of playing Fort is learning how to edit things from boxes away so that it sets up an even better peak for myself. Here you can see me do that exact thing with this right hand peak on top of this stair that I'm sitting on. Don't forget to practice any of these moves. Use my maps down below in the description. Really good, quick fighting practice. If you liked the video, like the damn video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.